Hi guys, and welcome back to my Q&A. We are just basically going to pick up from where we left off. I hope you've been having fun so far with the questions and the answers. So let's get right back into it, shall we? Are you a Christian? Really? Yes. Who is your male best friend in Nollywood? I don't have any male best friend in Nollywood. I actually don't have any best friends in Nollywood. I have I don't have a lot of like friends like that. I have colleagues. I have people that, I don't have like close friends. I don't have a lot of them. I only have like a handful. Funny enough, the two closest people, or the two people that I'm closest to in Nollywood are females, Teniola Ladeshe and Debbie Felix. And these are people that I don't even speak to on the phone every day. Right? We don't even communicate every day. That's how bad it is. But we have this kind of relationship where when we communicate, we communicate. When we speak, we speak. When we talk, we talk. When we hang, we hang. Like, we kind of just know that, yeah, even though we don't speak, we wish each other or ourselves the best at every point in time. We know that we have, our best interests at heart. So there's really no pressure to, stay in touch and speak every day and everything like that. But when we do, we do. So, yeah, but same thing with like, the guys, a few of them, but like I don't have no male best friend in Nollywood. Yeah. So this goes, why haven't you ever done TikTok live video before? Same reason why I'm not. So like I said earlier, I'm not very active on other social media platforms. YouTube is the one that, Instagram is the one that I'm most active on because I'm doing YouTube and I don't enter my head and my mouth. So I would say during lockdown, which feels like a lifetime ago, but that actually happened. I was very active on TikTok because it's kind of like it's more like a creative space, where you're seeing content that you're being inspired by, you want to recreate or you want to make your own. Plus I had the time because we're not going anywhere. We're at the house, locked up. So I was very active on TikTok. Obviously after lockdown, everybody kind of like went back to work. Then I went back to my default mode, which is just being active on Instagram. Now, that aside, I'm not really a live video kind of person. I have done a few, even on Instagram, that I'm very active on. So let alone TikTok. But in the spirit of trying new things or trying to do more of the things that I really should be doing, I will give it a shot sometime. Yeah, so thank you for that pointer. Whose writing is the best that you have seen in film or TV? Writing, screenplay. I've in the last couple of months, I have done tons and tons of really good films, and most of them were because the script was good, the writing was really good. So some of them not so great, but thing is, I would never turn down a project because the script is not great, and this is my reason. I have read scripts that are not great and then jump on set with actors who are phenomenal, and we turned that script into something amazing, right? So I believe that as difficult as it can be, if a script is not great, it's possible for you with the right actors, the right director, the right team to bring it to life and, do it in such a way that when you're reading the script and then you're watching the film, you're like, how did this happen? But as far as like screenplay goes, I would say the best I've read in recent times, in the last few years, is probably one by Priska Okeke called To Have and To Hold, the movie that I'm in. It was a beautiful film, well shot, well delivered, well directed. Obviously the writing was not the only thing that made it great. The performance from all the actors like myself, Honorable Ola Daniels, Chine Nebe, the director did an amazing job. Everybody brought their A game. So the script was beautiful, but it was a guide for us to deliver an even more beautiful story. So I would say the writing for that the screenplay for that film is probably the best I've read in a while. So yeah. This one goes, how do you manage long distance relationships? I'm not a fan. That's the simple truth. I have been in long distance relationships and it was not easy. I think that I would never intentionally go into a relationship knowing that from the very onset it's going to be long distance. And the reason is because I like physical contact. I always like to be around my partner. I like that proximity. I don't like to have to overthink or overplan before I get to see my partner, and vice versa for them as well. So yeah, if I'm already in a relationship and for some reason we have to be apart, maybe I have to go away for a while for work, or she has to go away for a while for work or whatever, completely understandable. I will deal with it because I'm already committed to it, but I would never go into something that I know that from the very onset is going to be long distance. So yeah, that's my answer to that. People who do it, I hail them. I've done it before, and I think that it lasted for about a year, just a little over a year. So I give myself credit for doing my best. What is the most shocking thing you've heard or read about yourself in recent times? I do read and hear a bunch of stuff about myself that makes me go, wow, like they're so false that I get so invested that I'm like, okay, so what did I do next? Crazy. I guess it's just part of the work, part of the job, where people just carry about rumors for whatever reason. People who know me know that I never actually comment on any of these things. But I'll say the one that shocked me most recently, it's not very recent, just like, not so long ago, about 2 years ago. So I was in the UK, and someone reached out to me on Instagram, a guy who owns a security company. He probably went through my page, according to him, saw that I'm into acting, modeling, even though I don't do a lot of modeling anymore these days. And he was trying to shoot an ad for his security company to promote it because it's relatively new. Reached out, we had a conversation, spoke fees, spoke time, schedule, and everything, and it worked for me. Set up a date, went for the shoot somewhere in South London. It was me and two other models, two females. 4 hours of shoot, and it wasn't even necessarily 4 hours of shoot. It was like first 1 hour was just basically just scouting the area, deciding what we were going to use because it was outdoors, and then the next 30 minutes was the actual shoot, and then another 30 minutes for break, tea, coffee, munchies, whatever, and then another 30 minutes of shoot, and then the last 1 hour was basically just chilling and everything, and got paid very well, which got me thinking like, let's say I go start this modeling again for this side though. And I remember while we were shooting, I was on video call with my older sister, and I was just, describing everything to her. She was like, how you actually know? Because we used to model back in the day in Nigeria, and we know how we used to be then. So this was like very, very chilled stuff. Anyway, fast forward a few months after, the job comes out, he sent it to me, I see it, I like it. And it was very impromptu. I really didn't prepare for it. I didn't get like a fresh haircut. It was just like very sharp something. I told him like I wasn't really prepared. I was like, let's just do it. Did it. It came out. Liked it. Few months after, people start to send me this picture. People start to do like screenshots, go to like the security agency, their Instagram page or Facebook or whatever, sending me the picture, saying how. And then what started getting out that I went to the UK and I started to do security guard work. I'm like, what? I was playing a role. Like, I'm an actor, I'm a performer. So does it mean that every single time I've had to play a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, does that mean that that is who I am? The fact that I have the uniform on and everything does not mean that that's who I am. And even if that was the case, it's not a big deal. Like, I have friends in the UK who do that, and they make a ton of money. Let me put it in context for you. I'll leave you to do the math, but I'll break it down for you. What security people make here in the UK. I know that I'm kind of like digressing a bit, but yeah, pardon me. So a security guard makes an average of 10 to 12 pounds per hour, right? If you're working full time, which is maybe like a 12-hour shift, 5 days a week, you're seeing maybe 120 pounds every day, right? Multiply that by 5 days a week. Now multiply that by 4 weeks in a month. Then switch that, like do the exchange in Naira, because we Nigerians will always do the exchange. Do the exchange in Naira and see what a security guard makes here every month, right? Now, obviously, I know you've got bills to pay. So let's even say that whatever amount you've come to, split it in half, and you only take half home. You've paid your light bill, your electricity, your rent, grocery or whatever, and you're only left with half of that. Still convert that half to Naira and see what security guard, as they call it, make here in the UK. And then tell me back home in Nigeria, the kind of work you need to be doing to be making that amount of money in a month. Context. So yeah, anyway, sorry for digressing. That is the most shocking thing I've heard about myself in recent times. So this one goes, who is your crush in Nollywood? I don't have any crush in Nollywood, sorry. Used to, not anymore. Simple question, simple answer. Thank you very much. Mention a brand you would love to partner with. This one I set up. I want to partner with everybody, all the brands. Alcoholic brands, fashion brands, fitness brands, travel brands, lifestyle, food, all of them. And I'm not going to mention brand because every brand out there has a competitor. Let me not go and mention the one where the actual competitor has been trying to like, this boy, let's be watching him. He's like, we'll send him a DM tomorrow. I'm not going to mention their I beg you. But yeah, hit me up. I'm ready to work with anyone. Who is your favorite sibling? Very simple. My favorite sibling is my twin brother. Yes, said it, put it out there. It's weird because in my family we kind of know who is whose favorite, right? And I'll put it out there. Yes, you push come and beat me. So in my family, my twin brother is my favorite, right? My older sister, her favorite sibling is my twin brother. We know this. She can deny it all she wants, which is very funny because she's not my twin brother's favorite. I'm my twin brother's favorite, and she's like, "But why am I not your favorite if you're my favorite?" And it's just what it is, just a twin thing. What can you do about it? Yeah. So my immediate younger sister, I'm actually not sure, but I think maybe the second last. And then the second last, I used to be her favorite at some point before we had a fallout. She annoyed me, so we fought. So I don't know if I'm still her favorite. Who knows? And then Bella's favorite is definitely my older sister. So yeah, we kind of all just know, and we are cool with it. We are not those kind of families where we are like everybody just nah. We don't. It's not like we speak about it. We just know. Just one of those things that you just know, and everybody's cool. So yeah, that's it. Why are you proud of your Igbo nature? I mean, what is there to not be proud of? Listen, you don't know how privileged I feel to know that I'm very, very, very in touch with my culture. It's a privilege, and I call it that because I've come to realize that there's a very, very, very high chance that my generation in my family, I'm talking about myself, my siblings, my cousins who are in my age bracket, are probably the last generation that are going to be as in tune with our culture as we are. Because I look at like my nieces, my cousins, their kids, they are not as fluent in Igbo as we were when we were their age, because obviously times are different. Our interaction is different. When we were younger, we didn't have social media, so we had to communicate with each other. Now the youngins have their iPads and everything, so there's not really a lot of like face-to-face communication. Technology has taken over. We're going to do our best to make sure that they at least understand the language, and hope that for some reason, miraculously, they're able to speak fluently, as well as we do. But yes, I absolutely love my culture. I don't joke with it. I embrace anyone who know me, like they know I embrace it. It's like I wear like a crown because it's who I am. So yeah, why not? Who speaks the best Igbo in your family? Well, first of all, everyone in my family speaks Igbo, right? Everyone. Like we have a WhatsApp group where sometimes we chat in Igbo. That's how bad it is. I don't know what your opinion is, but personally, I feel like I'm the one who speaks the best Igbo in the family. Now, followed by, it's between my older sister and my twin. And the reason it's a bit confusing for me is because with my twin, when we talk, when we have conversations, if there are other people around, like if it's me, him, my other siblings, my mom and stuff like that, yes, we are flowing in Igbo strictly. If it's just me and him, we tend to just communicate more in Pidgin. We're like, oh my God, I think everything happened, that kind of P. But with Sandra, even if it no matter, it no mean where we did, that one is always flowing in Igbo. So I might give it, I'll probably say like, if I was putting like a 50-50, I would say maybe a 59 to Sandra and then 41. I might calculating it to my twin. But it's definitely between the both of them, and then followed by everybody else. So yeah, but I think I still come first because now. Okay, this is a deep one. What are your thoughts on interracial relationships or marriages? I'm down for it. 100%, which can be quite surprising considering that I come from a household or a family that is very, deeply rooted in the Igbo culture. One would think that we would be quite rigid in terms of, the people that we're with, making sure that they're of the same tribe, speak the same language. We're absolutely nothing like that. We're very open-minded. I've been with people who are not from my tribe, who don't speak Igbo, who are not even Igbo, let alone maybe they're Igbo, but they don't really know. They're not even Igbo at all. So I'm down for it. Whatever tribe, whatever race, whatever ethnicity, even if you're not from Africa, like I don't care. I would say for me, the only downside that I've had to make peace with is that, chances are the children may not be as fluent in the language if both parents are not from the same place or speak the same language, because kids tend to pick up languages a lot easier when both parents communicate in that language. But it's not impossible for one parent to do so. I guess it would have to be on me to make sure that Igbo would be inside them. Yeah, but generally I'm down for it. Of all the physical things that you own, which are you scared of losing the most? What I'm scared of losing the most is my passport. Listen, I feel like that's the worst thing that could ever happen to me, right? It's like taking away my rights to freedom. Because me, I don't really like day one place. Just thinking that, like, I will feel trapped. I will feel like I'm lost. So yes, I guard it with my life. Now, this is not to say that obviously the content, visas and everything, you can always get it back, but the stress, I don't have the energy to go and be running from one embassy to the other. So I'd really rather not lose that. So yeah, every other thing can be replaced a lot more easily than, yeah, I'm just gonna stop there. It's gonna have to be my passport. You travel a lot. What is one place you've never been that might surprise people? I've actually never been to the US before. Yeah, I've never been to the US before, which might be surprising to a lot of people. I don't know, because I have been to so many other places, but not the US. But very soon, very soon. This one goes, what is your best holiday experience in recent times and why? All these two-part questions, you put chicken inside. But yeah, it would have to be, in recent times, it would most likely have to be between Rome and Paris a few months ago. And for different reasons. But if I actually had to pick one, it would be I've only been to Rome twice. Sorry, I've only been to Rome once. So you'd think that would be it because I've been to Paris many times, but it would have to be Paris. I'm gonna have to choose Paris. It was magical, and that is all I'm saying about that. So, yeah. This one goes, you enjoy flying, but it seems your twin does not, and why? The boy does not like to fly. He actually hates flying, especially the long hauls. He cannot, anything beyond 1 hour, he's not, he doesn't have the energy for that. So waking up, packing, getting to the airport, checking in, entering plane, sitting and waiting for plane to land. Like, he doesn't just have the energy for it, which is very weird because, like I said earlier, he's lived in Europe before for many years when he was in uni, and then afterwards his master's degree, and all this time he only came back like twice or three times. He doesn't have the energy for it. And every time he's like, how do I do it? Me, on the other hand, I like to fly, as you already know. Earlier this year, I had like this long, it was a long trip that involved many places. So I was in the UK. I had to fly from the UK to Canada, Toronto, did a few days there, and then flew from Toronto to Victoria, BC to see my sister, which was 5 hours, 20 minutes in the same country. Did like 2 days there, flew back to Toronto, and then flew back to the UK, which is like 8 hours or so, and then flew from the UK to Ghana, and then from Ghana to Nigeria. And all of this happened in a space of 1 month, or probably less than a month. And obviously in all this time we were talking, and this boy was like, how are you, like, I will just die, like, how are you doing it? I'm like, yo, I like to fly. I just love being in the sky. So I guess that's one of the many ways we're different, because we're actually quite different people. Even though we are twins, we are very different. So yeah, he does not like to fly at all. He doesn't like it. This one goes, aside disloyalty, disrespect, etc., what are 3 things you think women should not do in a relationship? Okay, that's deep. I am not a relationship expert or coach or anything, and I will not speak on just women. I would say 3 things that people should not do in a relationship. Obviously, there are many things you should not do while in a relationship, but I'll say, top 3 for me right now would be, 1, do not argue about money. It's just ugly. I mean, it's weird enough. Imagine arguing about money with your friend or a colleague or whatever. Imagine how awkward it is. You're not going to be your partner. It's very hard to come back from that. You can have conversations. You can disagree and just use your head, but back and forth about money with your partner, just don't do that. It's just very distasteful. 2, always try to put up a united front, right? Never give people, outsiders, the impression that you're not as solid as you should be. Short story, some time ago in the past, I've had someone call me to say, oh, Chris, I saw your girl to the place, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, cool, fine. Yeah, I know she was there. I had no idea. And the person was like, oh, okay, cool. I just wanted to let you know. Thank you for your information, Minister for information. Call my girl, I'm like, what's going on? And eventually turned out it was just one of them times where she was just being rebellious. Now, normally, if we wanted to like go out, even though we are fighting or anything, yeah, we tell each other. But we had this argument, and she was like, you know what? I'm going out with my friends. And yeah, but we saw all of that out in our own privacy, but do not give the person the impression to feel like, oh, you had one over us. So yeah, don't do that. And that's 2 now. Number 3 would be, what would number 3 be? Let me see. This one is for women, and I believe I'm speaking for all men. Never use what a man tells you in a moment of weakness or vulnerability as a weapon against him when you argue or fight, because he would stop telling you things. I cannot overflow this statement. Now, normally men have ego. It's in our DNA. We can't do anything about it. Some have it more than others, right? But naturally we have it. When a man is vulnerable enough to, let you in on some things that are going on in his life, chances are you're probably the only person that, is privy to this information. And it's hard for men to open up generally. For a man to even do that means they trust you. And by trust, I mean they trust you that you have them. Like, this man got me, right? You people fight tomorrow. You nice and say, hey, that's how you say. And see, you are digging your own grave. In fact, you're digging the grave of that relationship, because what's going to happen is that man is going to close up. He's never going to tell you anything again. If devil now wants to finish you, he's not talking to you about stuff like that, but he's talking to some other person about stuff like that. Before you know it, somebody else is taking your space. I'm not going to go more into it because this is not a relationship, whatever. But yeah, just whatever anyone tells you in confidence, especially when they're weak or vulnerable, never use it against them, when you fight or argue. It's just very wrong. This goes, what are the similarities / differences between you and your twin? We are very different. We're very, very different people. I think that, we have very different personalities, right? He's a lot calmer now. He used to be quite temperamental, very short fuse back in the day. Me, on the other hand, I have a very long fuse. Like, it will take a lot to get me to pop, but when I pop, it won't be a pop, to be an explosion. Yeah, obviously I've already mentioned how he doesn't like flying. I love to fly. One of the few things that we do have in common is our love for family. We're very family oriented. We don't joke with family. Family always comes first. He's an introvert. I am an extrovert. When he goes out, he has fun, but getting him out is the problem. He's not shy. He's quite reserved. You can mistake that for being shy, but he's not shy. He's just quite reserved. If he's around his own people, like his people, yes, you can see sides of him that are very similar to what you see me do, like on the norms, right? Because me, on the other hand, I'm extroverted. I am not shy. I'm not reserved. I can be sometimes, depending, but generally, I am just like an out there person. What else? We're similar in a lot of ways, but we're also very different in a lot of ways. We love each other still. This one goes, can you date or marry someone who is wealthier than you? I don't know the kind of money you people think that I have. I don't know the kind of impression I'm giving people on social media that is making people feel like I'm money, like I have money. I don't have money. I don't have money. In fact, I'm looking for somebody to come and spoil me. But on a serious note, yes, 100%. And this is not even like, for me, I'm sure it will feel great, but again, it's really about what is here and what is here, right? Who has more money really doesn't matter, as long as there's that mutual respect for each other, especially if you've worked hard for a long time in your life or your career and you've made X amounts of money for yourself, and for some reason I step into the picture and you and I are now together, I would not date you because you have more money than me. You've been working your ass off for it, and same as me as well. So yeah, it's not even a factor. It's not a factor at all for me. How important is your family's approval for who you date or marry, and who is the hardest person to win over? Approval. Yes, my family's approval is very important to me because I love my family. I am really about family. Now, approval does not necessarily mean how do I put it? That I don't have the approval does not necessarily determine my decision or my course of action, right? It would be great if they approve and love and just, vibe with whoever it is that I'm dating. It would be great. In the event that they don't, it would be sad, but it's not going to determine whether I go ahead to be with the person or stay with the person or not, 100%. who would be the hardest person to win over? It would probably be my older sister, for obvious reasons. She's the oldest, so she sees everyone else as her responsibility. That's one. Two, she's a woman, so she's always going to have that, when women assess other women, like, are you sure she's the right, that kind of thing. My mom is she's pretty chill. My mom is pretty chill. My mom has this whole thing about, as long as you're happy, I'm happy. My twin brother, same thing. The rest are younger than me, so they don't really have a say. It's just what it is. You can like this or hate this, that's your business. So I would say my mom, my twin, and my sister are the ones that, the approval would mean a lot, but doesn't necessarily decide, my course of action. This goes, can you date an older woman? And if yes, what is all this if yes? If it's like question A for question 1A, question 1B, question 1C. Can you date an older woman? If yes, what is the maximum age you'd be willing to date? The answer is yes, I can. 100% I can. Again, like I keep saying, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's about what is in your heart and what is in your head, my dears. Considering my age, the maximum I would be, age is really just a number, because there are people who are older but are just basically children, and there are people who are younger and they are grandfathers and mothers in their heart and soul. But if I absolutely had to put a number to it, considering my age now, it would probably be a maximum of 5. It'd be 5 years a maximum. 5 years maximum, really. Anything beyond that, I mean, it's still possible, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. What advice do you have for your younger self? If I could talk to my younger self, what I would say is, because I know the things that I was scared of doing that I really wanted to do, but was just scared of, what people would say, how it would turn out, what if I don't succeed and everything. My advice would be, like Nike, just do it. Bro, just do it. Time is going to pass regardless. People are going to like it, people are going to hate it. Just do it, That would be my number one advice for my younger self. That thing that you really wanted to do, that thing that you had deep passion for, that you absolutely loved, just do it. Even if you failed, at least you will know that you've tried, as opposed to wondering what could have been, which is sort of like where I am with a bunch of stuff that I really wanted to do that I didn't get a chance to do when I was younger. Still could, but it's just very different now. So yeah, that would be my advice to my younger self. If you could, what is the one thing you would change about yourself? First of all, I love myself because I feel like it would be an insult to my maker, but I wish I was taller. I just wish I was taller. I'm 5'11". I just wanted just 2 more inches to be 6'1". It would have just been the ideal height. But God is wise. He knows why he does some things, because I feel like if I was 6'1", this world would not enter me any people. I'll just be walking around like this. So God probably knows I'm like, let me make you humble. Just stay on that, you're 5'11". So yeah, but I mean, I love myself. I wouldn't change. I wouldn't really change anything. Yeah, I would change my account balance real quick. I'll add a few more zeros there. So yeah. This goes, have you been betrayed by someone you least expected it from before? I feel like we all have. So yes, the simple answer is yes, but I feel like everyone has in some way. To be honest, obviously, how they say that nobody's ever the villain in their own story, right? Everybody turns out to be the superhero or the good person in their own story. I like to really think deep and realize that I am probably the villain in so many people's stories. This may not necessarily be the reality or the truth, but it's just what it is in their version of whatever relationship or interaction that we've had. So yes, I think we've all been there when we've been disappointed by people we least expected from the most. I do honestly believe that there are people out there that I may have disappointed in some way that they never expected it from me. And if you're such a person out there watching this, I'm sorry, I apologize. I think I believe that I may have already, but if I haven't, this is my means of doing. God has given me a chance to extend my apology to you. But I've also been there, and I would like to say that at this point in my life, I'm pretty much at peace with everyone that is really important to me, everyone that has the power to hurt me really deep, because you have to be close to me to be able to hurt me. For you to hurt me and I'll feel it, you have to mean something to me. If you don't mean anything to me, you cannot hurt me. So everyone who is in that position in my life, I am in a great place with all of them. So yes. Okay, guys, thank you very much. That has been my Q&A, at least this session, and I hope that you guys had a great time. I hope I did not bore you. I had fun. You know, some of the questions were quite easy, quite nice, quite fun. Some of them were a bit sketchy, so I had to use a bit of snake in the monkey shadow to kind of like, you get. Unfortunately, if I was not able to answer your question, I am sorry. Maybe next time, as I intend to do this more often. Please, again, very importantly, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Feel free to like, to share, and to turn on the post notification for future posts. Like I said, I want to do more of this. I really appreciate your encouragement. Thank you guys so much once again, and God bless you. See you next time on the other side.